And welcome to another rendition of No Filter Sports. I am your host, Brian Lyles. I am not flying solo. You think I'm alone. Miss Kiki, she is rowing in shortly, but yes, we have a very intensive show this week. Or this month, depending on how you're watching us. But anyway, but we do have a special guest. Yes, the whole thing is about specialties, and this special guest, um, you all know him, you love him, and you cheer for him, you rally for him, and things like that. So live from his new home in Mar-a-Lago, the good one, Trump. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, what's going on, man?
Yes. So, how's Florida life right so far? You've been there for like what now? Almost 2 weeks now, right?
3 weeks,
Three
and
weeks.
3 weeks. I love it, man. I'll be lying if I say I don't have any complaints.
Uh-huh.
Two complaints.
Mm.
One of them I expected, but I'm gonna complain about it anyway, and that's the heat.
Of course.
The heat, man. The heat is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The
Mm.
other complaint is okay. So I'm very close to the airport.
Ah. Oh.
So not all the time, but sometimes it seems like the plane's gonna crash into my house. It just seems like that. But other than that, man, I've been in the traffic. People complain about the traffic. The people who complain about Florida traffic don't come from DC. They
Mm.
don't come from New York. They don't come from LA. This traffic ain't nothing. It's traffic. It goes. I'm like, y'all traffic just slows up.
Mm.
Ours up in DC completely stops.
Stops, yes.
Shut up.
Yes. Why are you complaining?
Right. Shut up. But
Oh, that's funny.
it's good. I love it.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you're settling in. We do miss you here on the show, and I'm happy that you're able to come back on.
Hey, look, settled
Mhm.
in now. So anytime you need me, just give me a heads up. I'll be on.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. So I know you got a upcoming Deuce Talk Chick show, so I don't want to fully hold you up.
Okay.
But initially, I want to you know about what's been going on up here. We had the sale of the Washington Commanders. Josh Harris, in addition with Magic Johnson, part of a group that were able to accumulate $6 billion and hand it off to Daniel Stein and say, "Hey, take my team off of these hands." But a lot that kind of sort of like took its time to finally settle in because before that, Michael Jordan was able to sell the Charlotte Hornets off. So, what do you think about these two sellings of these franchises, most specifically the Washington Commanders?
Um, here's my thing with the. I don't know. Everybody's so hyped. I guess anything other than Dan Snyder is a victory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Josh Harris as much of a yeah. People are not put it like this. People are not celebrating Josh Harris. They're celebrating Dan Snyder being gone.
Right.
That's what they're celebrating. Josh, nobody cares about this. They just, man, you could have sold that to a bum off the street and people would be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get that straight. Secondly, I think if Josh Harris is smart, he will turn over, full control of the franchise to Magic Johnson.
Mm.
Full control. Like Magic, I own the team. You run it. This is your baby. You need some money, I got you. Let Magic run. Let him be the team president. He's owner. He's in there as the owner. I don't know what his percentage is, but this should be Magic's team, and let him go with that. That'll be good for this community to see that.
Um, as you just said that, like you said, I think there's about 7 guys. I think part of this group,
Mm-hmm.
and Magic. I felt like like he tried to be the executive with the Lakers, and it didn't go so well. So him being whatever executive position with the Commanders, I feel like nah, just being the the owner's box and just wave,
No,
and that's it.
No.
I
I don't mean running and making moves.
okay.
I mean, he needs to be the de facto owner.
Be the face? Yeah,
Be the face. Yeah.
Okay,
Be
I
the
get
face
you.
like team owner Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be the face of the franchise. I agree with you. No, he cannot do any trading and none of that mess. No. No. He couldn't even get that right in his own sport.
No,
He get that right in football.
So it's like, is that the quarterback we gonna keep? No, it's just like,
No.
I know. I felt like, you know, like I said, like you, I felt like the yeah, this was more like, hey, Daniel Snyder's leaving. Yeah, everyone's happy, we're free and all that stuff. But in all honesty, you know, here's what I heard. I don't know if you, I know you haven't been hearing this while down there, but here, all the after the you know the fanfare was all done and stuff like that, it ended up becoming the talk of the name change. Nothing else.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, it was like it's everyone thought it's like, hey, new ownership will have a new name, a new face, a new look, blah blah blah, which is understandable. So please stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, after further review, we have our third person here. It is Miss Kiki. And as you can see, our little reunion guest of Miss Trump.
Our little guest, yes.
The late Smurf.
After 30 minutes of trying to get her on here.
Good morning, the good Trump. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Super fucking fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Yes. Hey, look, I want to shoot you a thank you already for them marvelous, immaculate pictures that you be posting online. Those what do you call them? The thirst traps you be posting online. I enjoy those.
I mean, you know, if I hydrate enough.
I enjoy those. You should make that a regular thing.
I think she does.
I do. No problem.
Well, Miss Kiki, glad you made it on safe and sound. So I already asked Trump this question about the sailing of the Washington Commanders. How do you feel about this new ownership group that's coming in and saving Washington's football team?
I feel positive. I'm actually excited, and I'm excited for them. Their excitement begets my excitement. I don't hate Washington Commanders. I don't hate any football team. So that is a business decision for the organization that needs to happen. And I live in the area, so that is what maybe to calm down some of this, that's going on around our area. You watch the news, maybe to calm some of that down. And another thing too is I would want the fans to be as excited about their teams as I am about mine. So it maybe that will catch and some of this stuff can turn around. Another thing to add to that, I want them to relax a little bit. I want them to take new ownership and sail in stride and understand that you may not go to the Super Bowl this year or next year, but as long as there are
I'm talking about the Commanders or
the Commanders, honestly, if I want them to understand that as long as things are going in the other direction as opposed to where it was, just take that stuff in stride and just be a fan, enjoy the ride.
Okay,
all of us get a chance to.
True. Well, here's the other question. The other question was, for the last, you and I don't know if you've been hearing it, but I've been hearing it way too much, that after this all fanfare, understandably, the ownership's main focus is pretty much to say, hey, we want to rebuild the fan base. We want to give these fans a new experience, an enjoyous experience of watching Commanders football, understandably. But what I've been hearing is name change. And I'm like, dude, focus on your football team first.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about all that other stuff later. Even though the ownership has said the fact that, hey, that is not our main priority.
Yes.
But it's just that the fact of the media itself, the local media, which is our main topic later on, is the fact that it's all about the name change. We need it because that name is the the last essence of Daniel Snyder, in addition to Ron Rivera's hiring, but it is still, that name is the last essence of Daniel Snyder. So how do you feel, both of you? First, Ms. Kiki, how do you feel about that name? Or possible?
The possible name change should be on the list. It's been there. It just, to me, I wouldn't assimilate or associate the name change to Dan Snyder as much as everyone is doing. I think that's a lot. That's a reach. That, to me, that is your priorities are all mixed up. Second of all, I mean, it ain't that deep either. But again, my team was not called W, so I get it. I feel like eventually in stride, if what Magic Johnson and that group is saying that they are they're a business and they want to rebuild, then let them do it. And in whatever order that happens in, you got to just trust the process. The name change, to me, they put so much on the name. Honestly, I know they will want something, but you're gonna be the Commanders till I say we ain't no more. So you just relax. And they said what they said. This is the order that our business prioritizes itself in. So they should just relax. Just relax. Just relax.
Trump, you had your comments. Here you go.
What about the name change?
Yeah.
Man, how many times they gonna change the name?
Facts.
Why is Redskins, football team, Commanders? I'm pretty sure the NFL got like a limit on how many times you can change your name. I'm like, come on, what if they don't like the next name? You know? And then there's a petition out there that a lot of people have signed to bring the name Redskins back. We know that ain't happening. You know? So if I was them, I would just keep it Commanders, man, and just build a tradition off of that. Just go with it. Maybe get some new uniforms, better uniforms, you know. But nah, man, leave the name. What you gonna get? Red. Everybody want Red Wolves. But leave it alone. Stay with Commanders.
They got no uniform. They should get new colors. If you, to me,
yeah.
Because if you as a former Redskin fan believe that the sole reason why your team is in the tank and in the toilet because of a name, and because we got a whole nother thing to talk about. If that's what you think.
If that was the case, the Cowboys would have changed their uniform years ago.
Facts.
You know? But
Facts.
they stick with it. They stick with all the losing. They stick with the Cowboys. You don't see them changing the name. You know? So stick with it. Don't give up hope. Keep hope alive.
You see this?
What's that?
That means I called it. This the backup.
Okay.
I called it.
What is
I called it. I hear you. I see you. Pow.
Oh, you felt that, right?
I called it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She called
You got to bring it back.
That's like Odell. I can't jump up like Odell. Odell Beckham be jumping up like bow. They think he didn't catch it. That's a one hand. I call it.
Yeah, catch
I call it.
But I will say this.
You got one more of those, and you got one more.
I'll say this.
Yes.
Down here, we don't have to worry about that.
Y'all got a whole other thing to worry about. You got a whole another thing to worry about down there. So good luck.
What?
I talk about you every Monday. Your state every Monday. So
Please.
you in Tampa or Miami?
I'm in Orlando.
Orlando.
It's Florida. You just wait.
It's Florida.
Y'all, let me tell you, y'all are so foolish about Florida. You don't look. First of all, every state has its bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
That's every state. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some pluses up there that's better than down here.
Facts.
There's a lot of pluses down here that are negatives up there. You know what I'm saying? So trust me, I 3 weeks in, I'm loving it so far.
You should. You should. The operative word is 3 weeks in. And let me say this to you as I respectfully interrupt you.
Yes.
Every state does have their somethings. Orlando may have a shot because Orlando does not have a Ron DeSantis. But I think the Ron DeSantis nest or ism will eventually make his way to Orlando. I like Orlando. My uncle lived there, so I liked it. He just
it already has.
Has it? Yeah. So 3 weeks. 3 weeks ain't really enough time.
I knew that coming in. And look, I know plenty of black folks that live down here already.
Me
I
too.
didn't just jump down here. It's like, yeah, it's sunshine, it's South Beach, let me go. No. I knew about DeSantis. I know about a lot of other things, Democrat and Republican. I'm hopping because, to be honest, can I cuss on here, Brian? I can say the F word.
Yes. No filter, man. You're the OG.
Yes.
Fuck both of them, Republicans and Democrats. Fuck both of them. Both of them are crooked. They no good. You can't trust either one of them.
Mhm.
You got our president falling asleep, taking a nap on press conference. That's a whole nother story. But at the same time, I've talked to people down here who are my color, and they said you couldn't pay them to move back up there.
I know. I agree.
You couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. And like, I'm open. I'm not be like, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I could feel different in 6 months.
Yes. Yes.
Well, actually, question: Would you be watching any, or since you're in the Orlando, more like the Tampa, Orlando area, so will you be able to see some Buccaneer games?
I got this thing right on my TV. It's a thing. It costs me $27 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And make sure nobody listening. I get all the porn I want. I get the NFL Red Zone for free. I get all that stuff for free on this joint. I send you a referral link.
Okay.
You will send us one.
Good to know.
I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna definitely send you one.
Please. Please.
Let's post that thirst trap tomorrow. I see one.
Okay.
I got you. Say less.
All right. Let's head into the next topic.
Okay.
I have no idea why the NBA is doing this. They're trying to make themselves look like soccer. They're doing a in-season tournament, which, again, knocking things over. All 30 teams are playing. They'll all congregate over, I think, in Vegas. It'll take them 4 nights to do this. I have no idea why they're doing this. It does not affect it. The games will be part of their schedule, but again, at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Now, compared to like the WNBA with their commissioners tournament, they do it within the games, and then towards like before the season ends, they have the finals of their matchup. Whoever had the most wins, the top 2 teams that had the most wins, will face have a finals. But here, it's like an actual tournament. Kiki, why the hell are the NBA doing this?
You said the NBA?
Yes, they're starting this season. They're doing this.
I don't know. I'm imagining you're trying to get more likes and follows. I guess you're trying to. I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm gonna. I want to see what it's. I want to see what it's like though. I don't know. I'm just thinking it's like anything else. It's trying to get a follow. You're trying to get new followers. I don't know.
Because Trump. I mean, you heard about the new play-in tournament. What's your thoughts of what the NBA is doing here?
Play-in tournament for what? The NBA?
Yeah, they have this in-season tournament where, they will play. It will affect the records during the regular season, but it's like, I mean, all 30 teams will congregate to Vegas for 4 nights, or pretty much a week. Yeah, it'll have all this happening in 1 week in Vegas, and it's like, okay, why are we doing this? So what do you think that why they're doing it? I needed a reason why they're doing this, because I don't see the benefit of it.
Well, what's the winner of the tournament get?
Nothing. They get a trophy and that's it.
A trophy, so they don't get like automatic playoff berth.
It does nothing. Does nothing for the postseason at all.
So what the fuck are they doing it for?
Because already the players are complaining about the play-in games to get into the playoffs.
The play-in games are magnificent,
right? So it does help the postseason race a little bit, but this I just feel like it's just exhaustion, because I feel like what the NBA is doing is, especially since it's going to be early in the year, they're going to do it. I think it's going to try around they said around November, but definitely before Christmas they're going to do this.
Season just started.
Exactly.
Right. Say again.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
He said the season just started. It's like,
Yeah, so they're going to do it early. It's kind of like I feel like, why are you doing this? Because one, you already have, because I think one of the main things that a lot of the NBA fans have complained about is most of the stars, they don't get a chance to see the stars play all the time. You even though you have 82 games, and when fans go to see, let's say, Golden State Warriors, and they figure to see Steph Curry, but Steph Curry is, he's on the bench.
Right.
So, and it's just like, all right, well, I just did you waste your money? But here it's like, since they claim since it'd be early and everybody will be there, they figure it's like everyone gets a chance to be seen. But I just feel this is totally meaningless. There's no point of doing this.
if there's no prize, a tangible, there's no prize, there's no add on to my stats or add on to my, no advantage to my career. And I don't understand. I probably would do it. Is it I have to, or is it for those who are interested, or is it that your organization signs you up? Like what's the
It seems, like I said, it really seems like everyone's got to play this. Everybody. It's like I said, all 30 teams are in it. I mean, the way the promo video was presented, it's like this big great thing, and honestly, it's like I said, when soccer, they do have in-season tournaments, but they usually have like B team players or their C teams that play those those in-season tournaments because they want to keep their A-list stars fresh for the rest of the regular season. Here, I mean, everyone knows that the NBA, you have 12 players on your team. So if one of your top tier players get hurt during these in-season tournament, trust and believe you're going to screw yourself.
There's your season. There's their season, which is their primary thing. This right here seems to be if I feel like it. It should be like if I feel like it. If you want to, go ahead. Like, and the youngest who just want to have their face everywhere, because that's what I'm saying. This seems to be an attraction or attention for, like a app. It seems to be to get yourself out there, to market yourself, to get more likes and follows, do this. Like the youngins will fall into that because you want to be everywhere. But at the end of the day, when you have me and I make my living doing this, and I don't get nothing but a box of cereal at the end of this, I ain't doing it.
You're doing it. Like for real, like so what what happens if players decide not to play in the tournament? What happens to them?
As far as I know, I think there's no reprimand as of now. So I don't know.
This is meaningless. It's no. It's like having sex knowing you're never gonna have a whatever.
Just having sex with no climax. That's what
There's some exercise enthusiasts who just want to have their pelvis straighter. No, I ain't doing it.
Okay. Well, yeah,
this is what they should do, in my opinion. Have a tournament with the worst teams from the previous year.
Boom.
And the winner gets the number one draft, or gets like the most balls in the lottery or whatever. Or maybe give them a guarantee of the top 3 picks. The winner of that tournament. Give teams incentive. Are there select teams going to be in the tournament, or every team's going to be in the tournament?
All 30.
Give them a sponsorship by somebody. You get to gain Nike. You get Nike's in here. Nike's looking for, like, give me something. You get to, nah, I ain't doing it.
You can't tell me Las Vegas is supposed to be the thing that makes you, man, what?
Hey, again, this is the NBA.
It's money. You know what it sounds like to me? It's a money thing.
Yes, I know it's a money thing.
Yeah, and not for me, not for them, not for me.
For them, right. For us.
Yeah.
So I feel like ESPN will eat this all up and make it over a spectacle and all that stuff. So I just don't get it. Anyway, speaking of ESPN, this is the main topic I want to discuss, and I'm glad that Trump is on here because it's about sportscasters and personalities. As we all know, ESPN has let go like a ton of not just on camera talent, but also some behind the scenes people. And I'm going to mix it in with two aspects. There's the national coverage, national sportcasters, and the local sportscasters. With the statement that Stephen A. Smith has mentioned, the fact that like he could be on that list of people that be next in line to be let go, and a lot of notable people have been let go on ESPN, mainly like Steve Young, Jalen Rose, Jeff Van Gundy, who mind you, he did the commentary for the NBA Finals for the last decade or so, and you let him go. It is like a lot of recognizable, noble people. Where do you feel like ESPN's vision is now? Is it the fact that it's like, hey, we got a lot of? Do you feel like they need to just get rid of the old talent and so we can push this new talent out there, or do you feel like ESPN is just being part of these big budget cuts that Disney has been doing as well? Trump, I'll start with you as the businessman as you are.
Disney, ESPN, they got caught up in that woke culture.
Okay.
They got deep into that woke culture because they let go a lot of people who were saying some anti-woke shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they ain't like it. Like Jeff Van Gundy, he said something a few months ago, and I know for a fact from that the commissioner didn't like it, and guess what? He's gone. So ESPN, they just got into that, and furthermore, they brought on Pat McAfee for a shitload of money. So if they paying him a lot and they're cutting on their salary, that meant a lot of people had to go, just for them to kind of recoup some of the salary they paid him. And they plan on bringing on Shannon Sharpe too for part-time. So a lot of this shit is a mix of ESPN and Disney deep into that woke shit, and then it's a mix of just trying to recoup some of that money they gave Pat McAfee and going to give Shannon Sharpe. And I don't care what Stephen A. Smith say. Stephen A. Smith yields a lot of power there. And I would not be surprised if he had a say into some of who's coming and who's going. He wants Shannon Sharpe bad. And they probably told him, look, we can bring Shannon Sharpe in, but you got to pick a couple of people who you got to throw. Max Kellerman, too.
Yeah.
Max Kellerman gone?
Yeah, he's gone. His morning show got axed. I mean, I remember.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He was like the day before. The funny thing, the day before, he kind of knew he was on the bubble for a good 2 weeks. He based off of some of the other people that were let go, and you can tell on the radio show he was kind of like anticipating what would happen. The surprise thing, though, on his radio show, Keyshawn Johnson was let go. So, and Keyshawn, he was like a very likable person, during the football season. So it was kind of surprised to see him let go in addition to Steve Young. But Kiki, how do you feel about some of these firings at ESPN?
Oh man, and Keyshawn,
yeah,
those were likable personalities to me. On the critical side or criticism side, they didn't really bring or not bring. Like it could have been either way. Like if I saw them, I'd like their faces and their personalities, but if it is not the woke culture that has taken that, it is definitely probably like a ratings thing. Like if that's what it is, I can kind of see they don't add or take away. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just I like them, and I think I like them because I've liked them, and they're there. I think in a few months I won't miss it. But man, Max. If that's what it is, we all got to be careful. And honestly, sorry, Trump. And if they're going to bring on Shannon Sharpe, that is a political form of dick riding at this moment, because Shannon Sharpe is he's him right now, and it would be a great thing. And if Stephen A. Smith has his hand in all of this, and it makes sense. It makes sense. And they're going to probably change the trajectory of whatever we're seeing now if Stephen A's hand is in that for like, and that starts to catch on. You're going to see a whole bunch of Stephen A's type of, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
Why do you think a lot of the people on his show did not get released? Like, it's a lot of people that he has corresponding on his show every day. Several people who I think are just not, they're just complete bores, but they're his boys and they didn't get released.
Right. I see drinks. Takes a sip. I hear. Here's my viewpoint on ESPN. I have not watched fully any ESPN show for a very long time. I personally feel ESPN, being the quote unquote worldwide leader, they become kind of like a social media thing. It's sort of like something to have, but really it doesn't give you that sense of how they were back in the day, where you needed them to watch and stuff like that. I've never liked any of their coverage when it comes to some of the major sports, especially with hockey and the NBA. I mean, when they did Sunday Night Football, it was great. When they had Sunday Night Football, having Joe Theismann and the guys, Paul McGuire, I believe, and I enjoyed that. But once they lost that and doing Monday Night Football has been the shit with them. I just do not like their coverage. I mean, mind you, having the Mannings doing their, side, having their side thing, is kind of entertaining on its own. But really, with their actual full-on coverage of it, it's a piece of shit. I don't like the green neon graphics or anything like that. Bringing in Joe Buck and Troy Aikman does not help them. In addition to with the NBA coverage, I mean, I felt like it was good. It's part of the quote unquote culture. They made it kind of sense of that culture, but really it's like you guys, all you focus is on is basketball and football. You don't talk about anything else, even though you have maybe an hour or a half hour shows of the other sports. But when it comes to in season, your main focus when it's in season baseball, you're still talking about football and basketball. And I'm like, guys, shut the fuck up. When there's an intense baseball season going on in here, and you're talking about guys who just got drafted, or up and coming players who ain't doing shit or whatever. It's ridiculous. It's like it's just it's just me.
What's your nickname gonna be tomorrow morning?
Huh?
What's your nickname gonna be tomorrow morning?
He's not there tomorrow morning. He's not there.
Oh, you're not there tomorrow.
No, I've taken a leave of absence from that. But all in all, I really feels like, look, there are other things going on and you're not talking about it. And I feel like but again, that is just how I see how ESPN is. In connection with that, there was one of the local radio shows mentioned the fact about local broadcasters, especially local sports broadcasters, and how that is kind of dying away because of the fact that because of ESPN doing the whole national thing. But then again, they really, when it comes to, let's say, like Trump, honestly, when you being in Florida right now, you're never going to hear about the Ravens. So unless you anticipate what ESPN talks about, but they don't talk about them on a 24-hour basis. So, but here it's just like all I hear locally. I'm a Ravens fan. The only time I hear any Ravens talk is if I'm listening to their game time stuff, which is by September or now August, since preseason's about to start this week, and that's it. Or I go to their website. That's the only time I go to it. But to get the actual information about them, it's limited now. I mean, not just Ravens, just anywhere locally, because I feel like, let me ask you this in this aspect. When you tune into, when you first got there, let's say the first 3 weeks you were there, what do the sports talkers talk about? Who are they mainly talking about? Are they talking about the Buccaneers a lot? Or are they talking about the Magic or what?
They talk about the Miami Marlins, and they talk about the Miami, Tampa. It's not a whole lot of sports going on right now at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I hear they really weren't talking about too much. I haven't heard a word about the Orlando Magic. I'm going to see some games this year. But I haven't heard sports talk. Messi, Lionel Messi, there was a lot of talk about him. And the Miami Marlins and the Tampa Bay Rays. That's it.
Okay. Well, at least they're talking in season stuff.
I
But
like the Rays. Speaking
like
of baseball, I like the Rays. I do.
Who's your favorite baseball team? You like baseball?
I like baseball, but it's the Tigers for me, and it is not because of hey, that's my home team. I always say that it's the Tigers for me.
Why?
Thank you.
They got silver and gray too.
Ooh.
Like that silver and gray. You like silver and gray, don't you?
You know where I'm from, sir.
Where you from?
Anywho, well, Kiki.
Oh, you from Detroit? I'm sorry.
Kiki, what again? Yeah, she caught that. Kiki, how do you feel about? I mean, mind you, you are a Cowboys fan, and you live in an area that constantly talks about Commanders. Even then, Redskin talk. I mean, how do you feel how local sports broadcasting has been in the last whatever time frame you've been here?
Let me touch on everything that you said. I want to hit a piece of that. I want to hit a piece of it. Ding ding. I want to hit that jump. No. I feel like in my when my father was bringing me up, I looked at ESPN just the way I looked at CNN. It is sports. It is serious. It really didn't have an entertainment aspect to it. It was people reporting whatever it was. The entertainment piece, I believe, and all that stuff kind of came later, where people personalities shown and people sprouted and got it. And this is how I watch this from my window seat. I don't know this to be true. That they didn't. This wasn't some grand plan that we were going to have. A white man come and be a or a Stephen A. Like I didn't see that in my time coming up. I just went. My father turned there when he was looking for whatever he was looking for, and that's what I knew. ESPN is for these things, and I did not, until you just said it, realize that I only checked for them during football season. So if they doing a whole bunch of this, like now, I wouldn't know. Like now, I'm gonna start looking for it again, because now my team, because I am in the area where my team is not. I'm gonna now start looking for the talk about all of them. All of that excites me, interests me, and gets me ready for it. Not covering whatever it is in season, i.e. baseball, which is all year, and when you don't have the shadow of NFL, or really NBA is kind of in the middle of that, because NBA, you cannot be a fan of NBA all season. Nobody is, like, unless you're a diehard NBA fan, because it's a lot going on. So you either like it from the beginning, and then you like it during the draft, and you like I see fans like that of NBA. It ain't very many of them that's like when football season is. We football people are there from the beginning to the end. We're there just to see, and you get you understand what I'm saying? There's more coverage of it. So I think the way if they're going that way, anyway, and I'm in the area again. I'm in the area where my football team is not, so it doesn't bother me that I have to be intentional about my information research or to find out whatever is about my team. It isn't that about it.
Well, let me say this, because with your team, the ESPN covers them constantly because they're a premier team. If you look how ESPN covers them, they will literally talk about them constantly, even though they will be either great or in the shit. And ESPN has done that way too much with a lot of teams in all their sports. When it's baseball, they talk about the Yankees and Red Sox, even though they could be great or in the shit. With basketball, it's lately it's Lakers or wherever LeBron lands. With football, like I said, with the Cowboys, they had the Niners for a good while. They even talk, and whatever happens, and Patriots, they love them, or wherever Tom Brady was doing, and now it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like with ESPN, it's just like wherever the premier championship team, whatever they're doing, I understand that. But here's my funny thing with ESPN coverage is I still to this day remember this. During the 2012 season, they were talking about how bad the Yankees were doing in the first month of the season. And it was like, yeah, it was like, okay, this is the first. The Yankees been doing this for as long as I remember. They start up bad in April and they kick it in by May.
Mm-hmm.
The defending champions were the St. Louis Cardinals, and they had injuries left and right, and they didn't say nothing. And I was like, I mean, I literally yelled on the screen. It's like, why the fuck are they talking about the goddamn Yankees and how bad? Why are they in fourth place in the AL East in April? And you got the Cardinals, the defending champions, pretty much 4/5 of their roster injured, and you're not even saying a word about it. And it made I was like, right at that point, I was like, I'm done with that shit, because they're proving the fact that like ESPN does not even fucking care about covering baseball right. And
I would love to have some sound effects right now.
I know.
Have your TJ siren on or something.
Yeah, I have a smoke alarm sound effect for you.
Yes.
It's in the city, baby.
Because of the fact, from that point on, as I knew full well, like ESPN is only going to focus on either elite teams or especially East Coast teams, but definitely the elitist teams, good, bad, or ugly. And I remember Charles Barkley talking about this. Kiki steps out. Charles Barkley, mentioned the fact of like when during this past season, and he says, "Why are we talking about the Lakers? Why they suck right now? Why are we constantly seeing them?" And if you're looking at schedule, and then it's like, why are we talking about them?
Well, it's about ratings. ESPN has gone from covering sports to covering what gets ratings now. So they started out as a legitimate sports network. They went mainstream, and they're all about ratings now. It doesn't matter. It's about LA. It's about Chicago. It's about New York. And anything else that happens to headline ESPN has to be like a big drama storyline. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's all about LA. It's all about New York. It's all about Chicago. That's it. Outside of that, it better be a top headline with some drama, or it's going to be at the 30-minute mark of the show. Right. So when you see that, you can get mad at them, but it's all about ratings to ESPN now. It's not about legit sports. They're all about ratings because the ratings bring in the money. And no matter how effed up that sounds, it's the reality. It's the reality. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunately how it is.
All right. Kiki, do you any comments about how you feel? Are there further comments on how you feel like how local broadcast is? Well, let me ask this question this way. Do you feel like with the declining of local sports broadcasting, is ESPN really providing enough information for your team to give you, the full benefit that the full benefit of your satisfaction of knowing what's going on with your team?
Yes.
Goddamn right, ESPN covering the Cowboys like this.
Now here's it. Okay, let's take it this. Okay, take away the Cowboys. Like I said, take away the Cowboys. Let's say this. Any other team? What are other sports that you highly watch?
I watch basketball.
Okay,
I am not an avid watcher of baseball. I tend to do what I said. I watch the beginning of it to kind of see, and I watch their end season to find out. Like when I find out who made it in the playoffs or the I will watch that portion. I can't watch it every night. All year.
Yes.
I can't. But excuse me. And baseball teams, I like the Tigers, but we do understand
the storm warning.
I do understand that you ain't really talking about them like that. So I am a bandwagon baseball person. So whoever is in the end that makes it to the playoffs, I will watch, and I will pick out of those who I like, and I'll watch that. But I feel like I'm avidly covered.
So hold on. So let me ask you. So Cowboys, Lions, Tigers. What about the Pistons?
I'm not a Pistons fan anymore. I liked Pistons when I was home. And that was honestly, and it's gonna sound funny, that was in 90. That was in
the bad boy era.
Yeah, the bad boy area. I liked them then, and I started to venture out as I was a young adult. So I'm starting or a teenager. I was looking now to satisfy what I had requirements I had for a team. And honestly, and not until I got here did I start hearing people say, "Oh, we go for the home team. You always." And I didn't grow up that way. My father liked what he liked, and he allowed me to do the same. So I did stick with Detroit. I like them. I just they just ain't my team.
I like everybody around well, I don't live there no more, but I like everybody from around DC except the football team. I'm a Wizards fan. I am a Nationals fan.
Nice.
I'm everything DC except the football team. I'm Baltimore. But other than that, I'm all DC and will always be. That's just how it is. As far as the local coverage, y'all get a lot of local coverage up there.
Yeah, we do.
The local coverage.
My hockey team is Red Wings. Just I stuck home in some area. I stayed home for something. But I'm a Cowboys Lakers. Lakers is my squad. It just is.
That's where I'm talking about. You. I believe ESPN caters to teams like that. Those elitist teams.
It just happens.
But I felt like the days of George Michael, staying up late, on the weekends, or since it's summertime, I'll stay up late enough to where I can be able to, watch the late night sports just to see him, and he'll talk about a good length about the Orioles or, before the Nats showed up. And then, of course, he'll talk about the Redskins, leading into the preseason stuff. He focused on how, and then Frank Herzog, Glenn Brenner, these guys really honed in on informing the public what the local teams are doing. They go to those cities. He'll go to Baltimore. He'll go down to where the Caps played or the Wizards play or then the Bullets. And of course goes to Carlisle back in the day, go to Carlisle, do the training camp and cover the Redskins then. Now I feel like since it's, either you focus on ESPN, and me personally, I rather go to the the league's channel, like MLB, the MLB network, the NFL network, because at least they'll give me a good chunk of what my team is doing. ESPN will not. I feel like, if I wanted that local aspect of what my team is doing, I will have to go to the network, the league's network, to find that out, because ESPN, like I said, right now, the Baltimore Orioles are leading AL East. They're facing the New York Yankees and are covering it on their network right now. That's the only time they'll probably even talk about it. I will guarantee it. And the headline will be more so if the Orioles right now they're leading their game as we're recording, but if they win this game, their main focus will be how the Yankees and Aaron Judd are struggling instead of how good the Orioles are. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem I have. It is just like your main focus is on a team that is not doing well. Mind you, it is an elite team, but not good enough to the point where it's like, look, the better team right now, you're not talking about them. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I won't cut it real quick. I gotta go.
Yeah, he's gotta go. So,
but it's good seeing you again, Miss Kiki.
You as well.
Although I see you on the ground.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be tuned in tomorrow. And, but no, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, Trump. You're always welcome here, man. You're always welcome.
Thank you. Anytime y'all want to come on down here to the great state, you got a place to stay.
Nice. Cool. It's being recorded now, so don't backtrack.
I ain't gonna backtrack. Don't you backtrack. You come on down here.
Show up with my hacky sack, my little hanky sack. Sure.
Hey, look, Orlando Magic wear gray and silver now. There you go.
So anyway, let everyone go. Let everyone know where they can find you now.
You can same at Rip Radio, at Dudes Talk Shit, same thing. Nothing's changed. Follow them.
All right.
Gotcha.
All right. So thank you again. Thank you, Trump. Enjoy yourself down in Florida.
Right.
So people please watch all the stuff on Rip TV and Dudes Talk Shit. So they're still doing it strong. from here to wherever they're at. So,
Oh Lord.
yes.
I see
But
y'all.
thank you again, Chump.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So
Kiki,
what I was saying was, I feel
Mhm.
like not since Cal Ripken, because that during that time I used to hear a whole bunch about, and I don't know if that was because they were winning at the time, or he was a top something, but I used to hear about Baltimore a lot back then. I used to,
Yeah.
and not since then. I don't really hear about that, and I feel like the way that those sports channels were born ain't the way they leaving out. Like it was to report on the happenings of these sports. That's it, and that's all. And now I think the money aspect of it, or the salary aspect of it, or the rising star chance that people get to be able to become something, has taken over the need to report and to do that research and to sit in on these games and blah blah blah. Because you got to think about it, the first thing that we see is whatever drama. I'm gonna use it that way, not drama. Whatever drama is going on, that's what they see all the time. Like even when something misfortunate it ended up, or unfortunate ended up happening to a basketball player, we will get that all day the same way. News is news, and you are not. You are sports news. That's come on.
Like most recently, shout out to LeBron James' son. I'm glad he's slowly recovering from his heart ailment that he suffered. But yeah, it was something like that. It was like constant coverage of something that's like, look, it can happen to anyone. I understand it's LeBron James' son, but really, was it something to sort of like just say, hey, we didn't need to have, we have our medical expert to talk about this, or we have our, it's like, yo,
that should have been ticker tape stuff. That should have been stuff. You understand what I'm saying? That should have been ticker tape stuff that we just read, in my opinion. And I don't want to sound insensitive. I don't.
Right. I mean, it's one thing to be informed,
yes,
but not to the point where you need a full-on 20-minute discussion about it.
Correct.
I mean, it's just like, look, I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, it just seemed ridiculous to me. I mean, there's other, if you're a sports network channel, it's just focus on. I mean, I understand it's related, but at the same time, it's like, chill out. It's like it's just one person.
Yes,
I know it's a famous person related to a famous person, but it's just like, I don't need a 20-minute discussion about this. I want you to get back to what you're going. I'm not, like you said, not being insensitive. It's just a simple fact. It's like, this does not connect to what this is.
Yes.
So I feel, that's how I feel. Maybe we are becoming bitter old people. we want our sports back. We want our sports markets back.
Sign that, come on, where are you? This is a sign.
Yes.
It's a sign.
Yes, it's a sign. So anyways, the sign is the time to running out. To let go. But this is, like I said earlier, this is the first week of preseason. It's coming up. Again, I feel like it'll be something. We will be entertained in some form or fashion. What are your beliefs? I should have asked Trump this, but we'll get him on once the season really kicks in. We'll bring him back then.
Okay.
How are you feeling about preseason now that it's around the corner?
I'm always excited for preseason. People will say it doesn't matter. That is like training for me. That's me preparing me. It's getting me back, because if once the off season happens, in the beginning, here's the slot, right? In the beginning, I'm like, dang, it's Monday night, nothing. Dang, it's Sunday night, nothing. Dang, what am I doing on a Thursday? Because I put my weekends around these days. I put my days around the sports. I set it up so 8:00 I could be in front of it, and all day Sunday. I did that. So once that's out of my system, it feels like this. Slowly but surely fill those times in with something else I'm doing. And when preseason happened, it's just like I gotta work out again. You start stretching in the morning. Preseason is stretching to me. It's like stretching, preparing yourself to work out. So then after preseason come, boom, we going fully at the gym. And so I'm excited for it. I'm always excited for it. And I even add preseason to things people don't add it to. Oh, it's just preseason. I don't care. Did you see that game? No.
Man, I don't care who they beat. It's preseason. I'm like, I put stock in preseason. I don't care.
Yeah. So,
How about you?
well, the Ravens are still undefeated for the last decade. So hopefully that streak will continue.
Mhm.
Because everyone figures like, oh, it's just preseason, but no. Ever since John Harbaugh came in, the main focus has been that is like just a win and getting that feeling of winning. Even it doesn't matter if it's preseason, regular season, or postseason.
Right.
Win is a win. So, and he wants to emphasize that mentality, which I like. So, hopefully the streak continues for him. So, anyway, that is it for No Filter Sports, even with some technical difficulties and some delays here and there. And again, we want to thank Trump for coming back on. He's always welcome. And as you can see, our lower thirds are where you can reach us. That is it. Miss Kiki, any final words?
Nope. I thank you for today. I appreciate the conversation. I'm actually online now looking up information on other teams. Just because you said that, I'm looking for other ways to look it up. So this was very informative. It is something I'm thinking about. So I appreciate you having that as a topic. It's great. It's great.
No
Love it
problem.
always.
Yes. See, we're an after school special as well, folks. So
Yeah.
yes. All right. So next time we'll be knee deep in football.
Yeah.
So we will be talking about that in late August and who we feel would be the good, bad, and the ugly this season with uniforms and all. So we'll see how that goes. So until next time, folks, I'm Brian 3SL. This is the Two Keys, Miss Kiki, and we will see you next time.
Bye.